Hi. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but if you've ever loved someone so deeply that losing them felt like losing a part of yourself, you're in the right place. This channel is where we talk about the things people usually keep quiet. Betrayal that blindsides you. Mixed signals that mess with your head. The kind of love that feels amazing one day and confusing the next. Real emotions, real psychology, real situations that could happen to anyone. If you've ever been lied to, replaced, taken for granted, or left wondering what you did wrong, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not crazy for feeling the way you feel. Here, we break down stories that are intense, uncomfortable, sometimes heartbreaking, but always meaningful. Not just for entertainment, but so you can recognize red flags earlier, understand human behavior better, and maybe protect your own heart in the future. So grab a seat, clear your mind, and get ready, because some of these stories might hit closer to home than you expect. And while you listen, ask yourself one question: what would you do if this happened to you? The night my wife told me, I need space, she didn't look angry. She didn't look sad either. She looked relieved. And that terrified me more than any shouting match ever could. You know how sometimes your gut reacts before your brain catches up? That hollow drop in your stomach, like missing a step in the dark. That's what I felt standing in our kitchen, holding 2 plates of food I had just made, watching her lean against the counter with her arms folded like she was negotiating a business deal, not talking to the man she married. I just feel suffocated, she said quietly. Suffocated. That word echoed in my head because I couldn't connect it to anything I had actually done. I wasn't the jealous type. I didn't check her phone. I didn't stop her from going out. I worked long hours, paid the bills, cooked half the time, did laundry, remembered her mother's birthday. If anything, I worried I wasn't present enough. So when she said suffocated, my brain started scrambling for evidence. What did I miss? What did I do wrong? I asked the obvious question. What do you mean? She sighed like I had just proven her point. I don't know. I need space. No calls, no texts for a while. I need to think. That's when a strange calm came over me. Not anger. Not panic. Just clarity. Because people who truly want space don't need to announce it like a legal document. They just take it. And people who love you usually don't want complete silence. They want reassurance, not disappearance. Still, I nodded. Okay. She looked surprised. Almost disappointed. Like she expected resistance. Okay, she repeated. Yeah. If that's what you need. Right there, I made a decision that would change everything. I wouldn't chase. I wouldn't beg. I wouldn't try to fix something I didn't understand. I would give her exactly what she asked for. No more, no less. I packed a small bag, grabbed my laptop, and left for my brother's empty apartment across town. Not dramatically. Not slamming doors. Quietly. Calmly. Like a man complying with a request. On the drive over, the silence in the car felt heavier than any argument. My mind kept replaying the past few months. Her staying late at work. Her sudden obsession with going to the gym. New clothes. New perfume. Guarded phone. More irritation, less affection. Classic signs, right? Or maybe I was just paranoid. It's amazing how quickly your brain starts rewriting history once doubt enters the room. Let me ask you something. If your partner asked for total silence, no contact at all, would you agree? Or would you fight for communication? I'm genuinely curious, because in hindsight, that moment feels like a psychological test disguised as a boundary. When I got to the apartment, I did something drastic. I blocked her. Not out of anger. Out of obedience. She said no calls, no texts. Blocking ensured I wouldn't accidentally violate that. It also protected me from staring at my phone, waiting for a message that might never come. Then I turned the phone face down and sat in the dark. And that's when the second wave hit. Not suspicion. Not rage. Loss. Because whether she was cheating or just emotionally checked out, the woman I married was already halfway gone. The next morning, I woke up to sunlight spilling across the empty living room. For a few seconds, I forgot where I was. Then it all came back like a punch to the chest. I flipped my phone over. Nothing. No missed calls. No texts. No emails. A strange mix of relief and pain washed over me. Relief because at least I wasn't being bombarded with drama. Pain because, not even one message? If you ask someone for space but still care, don't you at least check if they arrived safely? Don't you send a "we'll talk later" or "hope you're okay"? Silence can be louder than any confession. Day 2 passed the same way. I worked remotely, went for a long walk, ate junk food straight from the container like a college student. Every now and then, I'd reach for my phone out of habit, then remember. Blocked. Part of me wondered if she was relieved too. Maybe she was enjoying the freedom. Maybe she had already moved on emotionally long before that conversation. Psychologically, this is something a lot of people misunderstand. When someone says they feel suffocated, it doesn't always mean the other person is controlling. Sometimes it means they're experiencing guilt. Your presence reminds them of promises they're no longer honoring. Distance reduces cognitive dissonance. It lets them rewrite the narrative where they're not the villain. I kept telling myself not to jump to conclusions. But my gut kept whispering. On the evening of day 3, I was making instant noodles when my laptop buzzed. Email notification. From her. Subject line, seriously. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I opened it. Why are you ignoring me? I stared at the screen, confused. Ignoring her? She asked for no contact. I was respecting that. Then another email came. I called you. It goes straight to voicemail. And another. This is childish. Suddenly my calm started cracking. My hands were shaking, not from anger but from that surreal feeling when reality doesn't match what you were told. I opened my phone settings. 42 blocked calls. 30 messages. All from her. My chest tightened as I unblocked the number. The messages flooded in instantly, one after another like a dam breaking. Hello? Are you seriously not answering? This isn't funny. Pick up. I said I needed space, not disappearance. Are you with someone else? That one made me laugh out loud. Not because it was funny, but because of the irony. Then the tone shifted. Please answer. I'm worried. Did something happen? I'm coming over. And finally, 30 minutes earlier. If you don't respond, I'm calling the police. Tell me honestly, what would you think at that moment? Concern? Control? Guilt? Projection? Because to me, it felt like the script had flipped. The person who claimed to be suffocated was now the one gasping for connection. I called her. She picked up on the first ring. Where the hell are you? She snapped, voice trembling. You said you needed space. Not like this. There was panic in her voice. Real panic. The kind you can't fake. I blocked you so I wouldn't break your boundary, I said calmly. Silence. Then she whispered, you blocked me. Yes. Another long pause, followed by something I hadn't heard in weeks. She started crying. Not quiet tears. Full, messy sobbing. I thought you left me. That sentence hit harder than anything else. Because I hadn't left. She pushed me away. Or maybe, she expected me to resist. To chase. To prove something. There's a psychological pattern some people fall into where they test love through pursuit. If you chase, you care. If you respect distance, you must not care enough. It's not healthy, but it's common. I did leave, I said gently. You asked me to. I didn't mean like that, she whispered. Then came the twist that made my stomach turn. Who is she? I closed my eyes. There it was. Projection again. There is no she. You never just accept space like that unless you already checked out. I almost laughed. Because the exact same logic had been running in my head about her. For the next hour, she talked non-stop. Rambling. Emotional. Contradictory. Saying she missed me, that the house felt empty, that she couldn't sleep, that she kept expecting to hear my keys in the door. At one point she admitted she had driven past my office to see if my car was there. That's not space. That's anxiety. Finally, I asked the question that had been sitting in my throat since day one. Are you seeing someone else? Silence. Not shocked silence. Not offended silence. Calculating silence. No, she said eventually. But her voice lacked conviction. And after years together, you learn the difference between truth and performance. I didn't push. Not yet. She asked me to come home. Said we could talk. Promised things would be different. I told her I needed time now. The irony wasn't lost on either of us. When I hung up, I sat there staring at the wall, replaying every message. 30 messages in less than a day. From someone who claimed I was suffocating her. That's when a realization hit me, and I want to share this as value, not just drama. Sometimes I need space doesn't mean I want distance. It means I want control over the distance. They want you available but not present. Reachable but not close. On standby. When you remove yourself completely, it breaks that dynamic. Suddenly they feel the loss of certainty. Have you ever noticed how some people panic not when you hurt them, but when you stop reacting? The next few days became a psychological tug of war. She kept texting. Calling. Sending long emotional paragraphs about memories, regrets, confusion. Photos of our dog. Screenshots of old conversations. Even a picture of the dinner table set for two. Meanwhile, I stayed at the apartment, thinking more clearly than I had in months. Distance doesn't just reveal their feelings. It reveals yours too. And mine were complicated. I missed her laugh. The way she hummed while cooking. The warmth of her hand in mine when we watched movies. But I didn't miss the tension. The walking on eggshells. The constant feeling that I was auditioning for my own marriage. On day 7, she sent a message that changed everything. I went to therapy today. I didn't respond. Another message followed. I told her everything. My chest tightened. Then the final text. I kissed someone. It didn't go further. I swear. I pushed him away. But I couldn't live with the guilt. There it was. Not a full confession, but enough to confirm my gut had been right. Oddly, I didn't feel rage. Just exhaustion. Like finally putting down a heavy bag you didn't realize you were carrying. When I eventually agreed to meet her in a public park, she looked smaller somehow. Eyes red, shoulders slumped, hands twisting together nervously. She talked about feeling lost. About attention at work. About how it started as harmless flirting. About how she didn't plan for it to happen. Classic trajectory. Emotional connection first, physical boundary later. Here's something people don't like to admit. Cheating rarely starts with sex. It starts with validation. Someone seeing you as exciting again. Interesting. Desired. She said she asked for space because being around me made her feel guilty. That my kindness made her feel worse. That she didn't know what she wanted anymore. And when I disappeared completely, it forced her to confront the possibility of losing me. Not just the marriage, but the stability, the history, the future we had built. I thought you'd fight for me, she said quietly. I looked at her for a long time before answering. I did. By respecting what you asked for. Tears rolled down her face. In that moment, I realized something important. Love isn't proven by how tightly you hold on. Sometimes it's proven by whether the other person comes back when you let go. We didn't magically fix everything. Real life doesn't work like that. Trust takes time to rebuild, if it can be rebuilt at all. But we started therapy together. Honest conversations. Brutally honest ones. About needs, boundaries, fears, resentment, insecurity. Things we should have talked about years earlier. And here's my personal opinion, take it or leave it. If your partner suddenly asks for space with no clear explanation, don't panic, don't chase, don't punish. Step back and observe. Their reaction to your absence will tell you more than their words ever could. Some will feel relief. Some will feel freedom. Some will feel nothing. And some will flood your phone with 30 messages because they never wanted space. They wanted reassurance without accountability. So I want to ask you directly. If you were in my position, would you have blocked them? Or would you have kept the line open just in case? And if someone who claimed you were suffocating them suddenly became the one chasing you, would you trust their feelings or question their motives? Relationships aren't just about love. They're about patterns, psychology, and the stories we tell ourselves to justify our behavior. As for us, we're still together. Not because everything went back to normal, but because we built something new from the wreckage. Slower. More aware. Less naive. But I never forgot how quickly roles can reverse. How the person gasping for air can become the one clinging to you for oxygen. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do when someone says give me space is to give them exactly that, and see whether they use it to walk away, or to find their way back.